Welcome to Pressure Points. I'm Gene Munster. Our topic today is the Cybertruck. This is going to be launching on November 30th. We're going to talk about the history of the Cybertruck, the size of the market, the expectations in terms of units and production, and lastly, the big picture. And we'll start with the history. The Cybertruck was announced in November of 2019. That, of course, was the famous breaking of the glass event. At the time, the company talked about that being a $40,000 a year vehicle, and it's rumored to be $60,000 plus today, and they expected it to be available sometime in 2021. I'll give Tesla a pass on this, despite all of Elon's overpromising and under-delivering on timeframes. We obviously had some headwinds in 2020 and 2021, but here we are late in 23, and we're ready to get this party started. So that's the overall history. When shifting to the size of the market, the light truck market in the U.S. is sizable. It's about 20% of total vehicles sold. There's somewhere between 13 and 15 million vehicles sold every year in the U.S., and about 3 million of those are light trucks, pickup trucks. If you're curious, passenger cars account for about 25%, and about 65% or 55% are from some form of an SUV. So this is a worthy market that they're going after. The leader, of course, is the Ford F-150, and they do about 600,000 vehicles a year. So that's the overall market, and now the impact to the numbers and expectations on production. We'll start with 2023. Most of analysts in Wall Street just generally sees this as kind of a throwaway. There are numbers as low as a few hundred and as high as 10,000. We're at 1,000 for this year. Again, generally a throwaway. 2024, we're at 35,000. The range from the street is 25,000 to 100,000, so all over the place. In 2025, we're at 175,000, and the range is 100,000 to 250 in terms of estimates. The real question is that 2025 number. And this is the year that they said that they will, at some point on their last earnings call, Elon mentioned at some point they will hit 250,000 in 2025. My interpretation of that is not 250,000 for the year 2025, but a run rate of 250,000. That implies 20.8 thousand per month. And my guess is that milestone is hit in September. So when you kind of do the hockey stick ramp in production that we learned so well with Model 3, and you add that all together, you get that big jump from 2024 from 35,000 deliveries or production to about 175,000. And then near term, their capacity is capped out at 250, so 2026 is likely 250,000 vehicles produced. I lead with the production topic because I think it's most important. The demand piece seems to be in a great place. They said on the last call they have more than 1 million reservations. Many of those will fall away. I expect probably half of them to fall away. There's a $100 fully refundable deposit, so you'll see a lot of people kind of bought it for a gag potentially, but I think that there's still a meaningful number, call it 500,000 real buyers behind that. And when you think about that ramp that I talked about, 1,000 in 23, 35,000 in 24, 175,000 in 25, 250 in 26, that gets you to 470,000 for those combined first 4 years. And that is below what is likely the real pent-up demand number of, call it 500,000. Over time, some more of those are going to fall off and some will be added on as people see them out and about. So I kind of think that's a good solid number as far as the demand piece. In other words, investors should not be concerned about demand, but should be concerned about production. And the reason to be concerned about production is when you look at it in the context of overall numbers. So they're going to do about 1.8 million vehicles overall this year, Tesla will. And by my math, in 2025, without the Cybertruck, they'll have about 19-20% delivery growth. With the Cybertruck, call it 25% growth. In 2026, they'll have, call it 28, 29% growth without the Cybertruck, and with the Cybertruck, call it 30%. So you're looking at a few percentage increase in growth rates with the addition of what is a spectacular vehicle that's going to catch a lot of attention. That, in other words, there's just not that much pop to the overall delivery numbers based on the Cybertruck. And the reason, of course, is the capacity. And to put this in perspective is that 250,000 outlook for capacity for the next several years, that compares to the Model 3 and Model Y, which are each around 800,000 vehicles today. So the real pressure point here is, how does Tesla get the Cybertruck production up to $800,000 a year to really have a bigger accelerating impact on overall deliveries and getting those back into 30% plus delivery growth? So we're standing by for now for November 30th. I can promise you this is going to be a grind of a ramp in production. Probably not as bad as Model 3, but pretty bad. Patience is going to be a virtue. And more importantly, I think the product is going to be a smashing success. I think this is really going to capture people's attention. It's going to be a lot of utility for the dollar. And I'm excited to see this roll out in a week or so. So more to come after November 30th. On behalf of Deepwater, I'm Gene. Bye for now.